Okay, welcome back. Let's continue with our lecture on mathematical methods. Today we are going to look at the Legendre polynomial with a little more detail. Okay, today we are going to talk about Legendre polynomials. This is a part of course PH 3103 at IISER Calcutta. Let's quickly summarize some of the results. How does the Legendre differential equation come about? We have seen the Laplace equation in spherical polar coordinate, which is given by this equation. Furthermore, we are assuming axial symmetry, that is potential psi is independent of variable phi. So d psi by d phi is equal to 0, resulting in the simplification of the differential equation in terms of r and theta only. We decompose the solution psi in terms of radial eigenfunction r of L, which is given by AL r to the power L plus BL r to the power minus L plus 1. Now with this decomposition, P of L is a functional dependent on the theta only. We assign coefficients of r power L going to 0, leading to the differential equation in P of L in terms of function of theta. Furthermore, we change the dependent variable from theta to x is equal to cos theta, and then we get the differential equation d by dx into 1 minus x square dp by dx plus L into L plus 1 into P of L of x is equal to 0. This is a Legendre differential equation. We have written the equation in the form of 1 minus x square into dy by dx square minus 2x into dy by dx plus L into L plus 1 into y equal to 0. At x is equal to 0, since it is a regular point, we can assume the simple power series solution, that is y is equal to sum n going to 0 to infinity a n x to the power n. We have to find out a n, substituting this in the differential equation, leading to the recurrence relation E of n plus 1 is equal to n into n plus 1 minus L into L plus 1 divided by n plus 2 into n plus 1 into a n. From this recurrence relation, can see the first few Legendre polynomial. It becomes polynomial because the recurrence relation terminates when n is equal to L. So the solution becomes a simple polynomial, and we call them as a Legendre polynomial. For L is equal to 0, P of 0 is equal to 1. For L is equal to 1, P of 1 is equal to x. For L is equal to 2, P2 of x is equal to 1 by 2 into 3x square minus 1. All this we can simply get by using this recurrence relation, assuming the value a0 is equal to 1, a1 is equal to 1. We have also seen that using this recurrence relation, even function and odd function get decoupled. That also we can see. So, but here we have written it as continuously, makes the both even and odd term. For L is equal to 3, we have P3, which is half into 5x cube minus 3x. For L is equal to 4, P4 is 1 by 8, 35x to the power 4 minus 3x square plus 3. Of course, these can be obtained from the recurrence relation or simply going to a mathematical tool such as a Mathematica, Maple or MATLAB. You can immediately obtain this function. Even Python has a Legendre polynomial built into it. You can get the any order polynomial using a function. So one of the important property to note is that P of L for all L at x is equal to 1 is equal to 1. So that is we can see from all these values. But for x is equal to minus 1, P of L takes the value of minus 1 to the power L. That is because it is a different value for even and odd function. For all even function, it is +1, and for odd function, it is -1. Let us look at the plot of these polynomials and see this proper. L is equal to 0, we have a polynomial x is equal to 1. For L is equal to 1, we have a straight line f of x is equal to x. And then you see various polynomials till L is equal to 7. I've plotted them here. So you can see that at x is equal to 1, they are all coming to 1. At x is equal to -1, all the even functions are at +1 and all the functions are at -1. And you can see that these are the wiggly functions. The 0th polynomial has a constant. It is very similar to sine and cos. We have a 0th order polynomial in the Fourier series. We have a cos 0, which is 1, or which we call it as a constant. We call it a0 by 2. But in this case, it is 1. And then p of 1, which is x. And p of 2 is some. We have seen various values in the last. And important thing to notice is that they will have that many roots. It crosses x is equal to 0. So you have a first one don't cross anywhere. The p of 1 crosses one root at x is equal to 0, and then p of 2 has 2 roots, and p of 3 has 3 roots, and so on. So you have larger and larger roots and more wiggles. It is similar to the sine and cos, but you can see that sine and cos has roots at a regular interval at n to pi. However, in this case, the roots are distributed at different point, and they are all polynomials of order L. So that would have L roots. Let's go forward to look at the important property, that is the Stern-Liouville problem and orthogonal function. Let L of x be a differential operator in a Stern-Liouville form or self-adjoint form, and let phi of n be eigenfunction with the eigenvalue lambda n in a closed interval x from a to b. Then the eigenfunction corresponding to distinct eigenvalues are orthogonal if they satisfy the Stern-Liouville boundary condition. We have seen this in the case of sine and cos and other specific cases. This is a more general results about orthogonal functions, or so-called Stern-Liouville problem. You have a differential operator in the Stern-Liouville form, and you have their eigenfunctions. Eigenfunction corresponding to distinct eigenvalues are orthogonal to each other, and that is what we are going to show. L of x, which is given in the Stern-Liouville form, that is d by dx px d phi by dx plus q into phi is equal to lambda into phi n. Then we have integral from a to b. Phi n into phi m dx is a delta m and n. This is what we are going to show using earlier approach. We write down the two eigenfunction phi n and phi m satisfying the differential equation, that d by dx px d phi n by dx plus q into phi n is equal to lambda into phi n. The same way, phi m also satisfies with the eigenvalue lambda m and the eigenfunction phi m. Multiply the first equation by phi m on the both sides. So you have this expression and lambda into phi n, phi m. And second equation, we take and multiply phi n, then we get that is equal to lambda n into phi n, phi m. When we subtract them, several terms cancel away. When we subtract, these two terms cancels out, and then the remaining term what we have is phi m into d by dx of px d phi n by dx minus phi n d by dx of p of x into d phi m by dx is equal to lambda n minus lambda m into phi n into phi m. Now these combinations are such that we can easily drag phi of m inside this differentiation and phi n inside this differentiation, because of the combination is such a way that the extra term needed to be added because of the chain rule get exactly cancels out, and we can easily simplify and rewrite this expression as d by dx of p phi m into d phi n by dx minus d by dx of p of x phi n d phi m by dx is equal to lambda n minus lambda m into phi m into phi n. Can further simplify this, combine these two terms and write it as a d by dx of px phi m d phi n by dx minus p of x phi n d phi m by dx is equal to lambda n minus lambda m into phi n into phi m. Now we integrate this in the limit between a to b. From this term we get the dot product between phi m and phi n, and in this case we get a Stern-Liouville boundary condition. So from this is an exact differential, so we get simply p of x into phi m d phi n by dx minus d phi n into d phi m by dx, evaluated the boundary a and b. That is why it is called the Stern-Liouville boundary term. And if this is equal to 0, then we say that the Stern-Liouville boundary condition is satisfied. On the other side, we have a lambda n minus lambda n into integral a to b phi n phi m dx. This is essentially the dot product between the phi m and phi n. The term is equal to lambda n minus lambda m into phi n dot phi m. Phi n and phi m become orthonormal if lambda n is not equal to lambda n and the Stern-Liouville boundary condition is satisfied. That is exactly what we wanted, and the statement of this theorem is that if lambda n is not equal to lambda m, phi n dot phi m is orthogonal if and only if the Stern-Liouville boundary condition is satisfied, and the Stern-Liouville boundary condition is that the p of x into phi m into d phi by dx minus phi n into d phi m by dx equal to 0 when evaluated on the boundary. Now, an important point to notice here is that this combination phi m into d phi n by dx minus phi n d phi m by dx is essentially Wronskian of phi m and phi n. That is multiplied by with the p. Because this is a Wronskian of the function phi m and phi n, if they are linearly independent, that is if the Wronskian is not 0, then we know that this expression is constant, and it is evaluated on the boundary, it becomes 0, and then we will have a Stern-Liouville boundary condition automatically satisfied for the following expression, and we have a eigenfunction to be orthogonal to each other. Orthogonality of Legendre polynomial. We know that the Legendre polynomial can be easily expressed in terms of a Stern-Liouville form, and that is a form with which we started from the separability of a Laplacian in the spherical polar coordinate. In this case, p of x we have is a 1 minus x square, and then this becomes a very special case of a Stern-Liouville boundary problem. Note that p of x is 1 minus x square becomes 0 at x is equal to plus or minus 1, and it trivially satisfies the boundary condition without worrying about the term inside or the value of the function on the boundary or its derivative on the boundary. So it straight away satisfies the Stern-Liouville boundary condition because of the p of x is 0 on the boundary. So this is one of the nice trivial cases, and one say that the PL and PL prime are orthogonal. That is PL dot PL prime is equal to some A square L into delta L into L prime. So this is to say that Legendre polynomials are orthogonal, not necessarily orthonormal, because their dot product is not necessarily 1, and we may determine this normalization factor AL is given as integral minus 1 to plus 1 PL into PL or PL square dx that is equal to AL square. So there are various ways to evaluate this integral and calculate the AL square, but let's take a trivial approach. We know the value of Legendre polynomial for first few L's, so we can see whether we can get any definite pattern. So we can see that the P0 of x is equal to 1, and in this case A square becomes simply 2. Same way, P1 of x is L, and A1 square in this case becomes 2 by 3. Same way, you compute P2, and that A2 square turns out to be 2 by 5. P3, for that case we get A3 square, that is 2 by 7, and A4 square turns out to be 2 by 9, evaluated explicitly using this expression. And from this we can easily generalize AL square is equal to 2 by 2L plus 1. So in principle there are exact way to calculate this for arbitrary L straight away using the relations of Legendre polynomials, and they are called the Rodrigues formula. However, we will not get into all that thing in this modern age. It is much easier to get this integral done using your algebraic computation software, so it loses the significance of formulas such as Rodrigues formula. But one need to know that it is in principle possible to find out the normalization constant analytically, and that is what we exploit. Once we have this normalization constant, we can use that as an orthonormal basis, and we can express any arbitrary function in the interval between -1 and +1 in terms of Legendre polynomial. So this is called the Fourier-Legendre series, similar to the Fourier series which we have earlier done, expressing the function in terms of sine and cos. Those are differential equations which are rather simple, and in this case we have a little involved differential equation, and we get the solution as a Legendre polynomial. Same way, if we use some other differential equation, we might get a Stern-Liouville boundary problem and orthonormalization if such conditions are satisfied. Otherwise, they would be simply a solution to the differential equation.